Here we go. All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Fans Union for the fans by the fans. Here on a lovely Tuesday evening with my lovely ensemble. One short today. Trip won't be with us today, but he will be here tomorrow. So as always, we'll miss his random insight, not random. His insights, I guess you just will. The stat drops.
And he got the
But
stat drops. Yeah, I was about to say
give
if
us a
you
few
don't
nugs.
mention stats, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's my bad. So, well, yeah, I got a big week in college football coming up. I had a big one that just happened. Myself, all those who celebrate opening night in hockey, welcome. Got my Rangers cap on, about to kick off here in a little bit, or I guess puck off, what
Hey, all
shoot off?
60, all 60, all in the state of Georgia, stand up. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
I think
Yeah.
they say drop the puck, Joseph.
Yeah, I guess that's I guess that could have been an easier one. Side
Yeah,
note,
That's what I
like
keep hearing
get,
is
get on his ass, get on his
today.
ass, Logan. You're a fake
you know,
fan, man.
I'm
Hey,
very
I know
surface
nothing about
level.
hockey. I just heard that.
I'm very surface level when it comes to hockey. I'll be transparent. I gotta. So I always wondered, like, do you guys think? Obviously, there's always been the rumors. I saw a report the other day that said like hockey is almost like a hockey team in Atlanta is almost as much of a lock as it was in Utah, who just got their own team. I kind of feel like that would be like almost like an Atlanta United thing, where the flame kind of dies out quick once we get the initial rush of having a team back. Um, am I
I
off
don't think
basis to say
I
that?
don't think Atlanta United is struggling with attendance though, bro.
That's fair, but that
Yeah,
may not.
I know the Flame has died from them being a competitive team because that's typically how Atlanta sports work. Unfortunately, I'm not even trying to
No,
throw
100. You're
shots.
1,000% right.
But
Except for the
the but it's
Braves.
but yeah, yeah. But I mean, but as far as attendance and all of that, I don't think it would be fair to say that. But finish your point though, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No, I think that was pretty much it. I'm worried that they'll be like, oh yeah, we need hockey here, we need hockey here, and hockey gets here, and it's like, okay, this is cool for a couple seasons. I just don't want it to turn anything like that. If that makes sense.
No, for sure.
So,
Um, I also think the Atlanta sports scene is in a space now where if we had another team that doesn't carry any sort of ambition, it might turn into a like we're going to stop going to these as a whole. I don't know. It's weird to me. There is like a balance that you have to keep when it comes to like what is the actual energy around the sports scene in the city? Because right now, to me, the energy is dull.
yeah.
Like we're looking for who that is. I want to say it's Trey, and I'm not even trying to slight him, but that playoff push that he made is a few years past us now. So it's been a while since we was able to have that feeling. Just as a city, whether you're a fan of the teams or not, it does completely generate a buzz around the city. So
Oh
I don't
no,
know if the hockey team will help that, bro.
when Ben Simmons didn't dunk that ball, that was a monstrous moment in Atlanta history. No doubt
Oh,
about it.
yeah, for sure.
So, Logan, what's going on with you?
I just want to mention, don't forget about the John Collins poster on Embiid in that series. Electric. I mean, they
Oh
was
yeah,
literally putting it on T-shirts. It was literally on T-shirts, bro.
quickly too.
So
Quickly.
yeah.
So, well,
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Well,
of
we'll go
course.
ahead and.
Joel Embiid's a troll. So
There's nobody I like to pray on their downfall more in the NBA than Joel Embiid. So just to let y'all know, for everybody listening, I know you're expecting football talk. We're actually pretty well versed group in several sports. Graham is the soccer king. I can't go anywhere near touching that. But basketball, baseball, and football, we're all pretty sound on that. So who knows? One day when we turn this entity into a monster, if you will, could have some different some basketball, some baseball, whatever it could be. So Graham's
Yeah,
gonna have his own.
when it
Graham's gonna have his
transcends
own
into an
radio show.
actual enterprise, we'll have a blend, a multitude of the good stuff to talk with you guys about. But for today, we're gonna stick with the steak and taters, if you will.
And Graham's gonna be the
This is
7
some
a.m.
damn
radio
SEC
host.
ball, fellas. I'm ready to talk that SEC ball with y'all lads.
That's true. Well, we'll go ahead and open it up. Obviously, Ole Miss had a bye week after their huge win. We'll talk about their game coming up this weekend a little bit. But Georgia, per usual at home, put the smack down on Kentucky, excuse me, like always. Won 35-10. Kind of a weird game for me. I got to watch. I watched most of it, a little bit of the second quarter. I had to listen to in the car on the radio. But I think this team's identity, it seems like it's definitely running the ball, which is what everybody was not literally crying for, but like, professing like, hey, we need the Georgia standards running the ball. And it seems like Chauncey Bones has really, answered the call to be that back this year. Nate and his touches, he played well. It's that I hated that fumble took him out of the game against Alabama, but it was deserved. It was no doubt deserved there. But yeah, I mean, defense does what it, the bend to don't break. I don't know. I don't know if y'all saw this. This is kind of a thought. Georgia really got a bailout when that tight end, I think his name's Willie Rodriguez for Kentucky, which he's very good, by the way. I think he's number 81. That dude is very good. Did y'all see the ball that they called incomplete? And he completed every step of a catch, and as he hit the ground out of bounds, the ball came loose. And I'm looking at it, if I remember that correctly, and they called it incomplete. And I'm just thinking, what the hell is targeting? What the hell is a catch? Like the catch this year, it's been everywhere. Nobody knows what a catch is. It's things to me that look like they should have been slam dunks or incomplete. Things that look like, I mean, really, it's more so in that, like how things are getting overturned. That's been pretty astonishing to me. Obviously, they play Kentucky, who's probably inarguably the worst offense in the SEC, especially with Calzada out. Well, I think he's actually back now, but he was hurt for a little bit. I thought the defense, played really, really good assignment football. When they put 24, God, what's his name? Is it Harris? Not Daniel Harris, obviously, but they were picking. I think it was Bailey, maybe. They were picking on him a lot. I have to look up his name here in a second, and he answered the call a lot. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from defense at every level. Obviously, it was 35-14. I think I said 35-10 earlier, but 35-14. But I mean, it was good to just see them assert their will on a team, especially after that brutal loss last weekend. So yeah, just a little bit of starting point. But Graham, tell me how you feel.
No, I mean you touched on a lot of the main things. I think most of the fans will walk away with coming from this Saturday. Always nice to pick up a homecoming dub. Not a lot of seniors on this team. By far the least amount of seniors that we've had on our team, as well as returning starters that we've had on our team on a homecoming night or homecoming afternoon, should I have said, because we had a noon kickoff, but for a long time. So not as many guys, standing at the 50-yard line with their parents and loved ones, like, what we're used to seeing. But it's always good to get a dub when all the fans are turning up and it's a special occasion. Gunner was able to really come out and set the tone offensively. I know Joey will agree with me on that. Not that the offense came out sluggish per se, but when we got into that red zone and we really needed some bite and we needed to be able to be efficient and get points on the board, Gunner executed his reads and said, hey, if you guys want to keep trying to pick on me with zone, I'm here with my feet. Like, we can do this all day. They were doing a pretty decent job of keeping guys covered, but there's always that, additional factor with Gunner that you have to keep in mind, that he does have a really a really good internal time clock, I feel. Now, sometimes does he bail too quickly because the pocket turns out being cleaner than he expected, I feel, just out of like maybe PTSD. I think he does that sometimes, but beyond that, I'd say 85% of the time, Gunner has a tremendous, internal clock, and he makes his reads pretty quickly and knows when, to get out of there. When it comes down to, just blatantly like trying to avoid those 3rd and 10s, I think Gunner did a great job with that this week. It's always better to pick up even just 4 yards with your feet and go 3rd and 6 than go 3rd and 10. Pardon me. So I thought, as far as the offense, that was what really stood out to me. Gunner, shut down any questions about if the offense was going to come out sluggish early. And defensively, as Joey said, we were able to rotate a lot of young guys in. I'd say around like the back end of the 3rd quarter, and guys like 24. I don't know if you were able to find that.
Dwight Kelly.
Kelly
cornerback.
2 or 3 plays there on the back end of the game.
Hey, it's Dominic Kelly.
Did I say Dwight? Dang it. I was looking at Dwight Phillips' name.
Looking at Dwight Phillips. I was about to say.
I was looking at Peanut's name.
He was getting excited about these touches that Dwight gonna get in these coming weeks.
Dude, I love when he gets the ball, man. It's. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say, but it's very electric when he gets the ball. Like the teammates, they get so excited for him when he gets the ball, man. I love that.
He's like our little Darren Sproles, if you will. Whenever he gets his
that's actually a pretty good comparison.
Yeah, and he can bounce around. He can return the ball too. But yeah, Joe, you hit on a lot of points, man. But defensively, I do feel like we were able to defend a lot better on the back end of the secondary this week as well.
Yeah, it's still the lack of pass rush, man. It's really concerning me. I don't know what the deal is. Now, granted, I know, like, I saw something that says, like, Damon Wilson, who Logan transferred from Georgia to Missouri, has more pressures himself than Georgia does as a team. But you start looking at who they've played, and you're like, I mean, that's still a pretty substantial drop off, but I don't think that stat necessarily paints the picture super well. But I think the receivers have got, or the back end has got too bad of a rep for the lack of pass rush because they're having to guard.
You can't guard forever.
Yeah, you're staying in space. It reminds me, like, if you remember back to, what's that game? The Chick-fil-A Bowl, Georgia beats Ohio State. I remember what it's like. Marvin Harrison was killing y'all's 2 touchdowns. If you go back, bro, they were in deep, or I guess, I don't know, I can't talk. CJ Stroud was running around for like 5-6 seconds. Like, it's not like he was just straight dice. Like, Marvin Harrison is just Justin Jefferson and just cooking everybody. It's just a time thing. And it kind of made me think of that. Like, that's what I'm seeing a lot with this team. I don't know what it is. And Jesse Palmer, the color, or I guess the color commentator, said he's been really unimpressed with Georgia's lack of, I guess, creativity, which Kirby Smart said something to the effect of, "Oh, I'm glad he feels that way, but he doesn't make. I'm glad he gets to make those decisions." Something real snarky. It was funny, but yeah, I need this pass rush, especially with the receiving corps that we're about to play this weekend, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I need to see something change quick for me to feel good. But that still comes away as my biggest concern. I'm glad Gunner got his first pick out of the way. I know that sounds crazy, but it seems like, I think we talked about this before, kind of like the Aaron Rodgers, where after a while he started to really protect his quarterback rating and touchdown interception ratio. It's kind of how I felt with Gunner. Like, he was doing everything he could to not turn the ball over, including not stretch the field and not get vertical with, in the air. And I'm kind of glad he got that out of the way, because I think that's his. I don't remember if he threw a pick in the Notre Dame game, but I think that might have been his first career pick, which is testament to his decision making. But
no, he did. He did throw an interception against Notre Dame.
Did he? Okay. Yeah. So, but this season, it's his first pick, and he's got it out of the way. But it's 2 different things, because he comes into this season as a starter. Notre Dame, he's playing because his starter is hurt. So it's 2 totally different approaches, if you will. But I'm sure we're going to mention Pug got in the game and threw an absolute Stevie Wonder interception. But that dude, man, there's something special when he lets it rip, man. That dude is like a shortstop.
Hey, have you noticed that with every time that Puglisi's been able to get in, his first connection, I think, is always to Elias Williams?
Well, that's going to be yeah, I'm going to love to see that connection in the years coming.
I found that like really interesting. I'm like, man, 12 and 10 are always getting in with each other, and they always connect within that first drive. So that's something that caught my eye, and it's something that I think all Dog fans will be looking forward to in the near future.
Speaking of receivers, Dylan Bell had a really big game. He had 2 touchdowns on the ground, was the leading receiver. He's definitely the most veteran guy on that receiver room as far as just being at Georgia. So it's good to see him get his confidence back, because, I mean, obviously, you remember he had the huge drop last year against Notre Dame, which kind of felt like killed the momentum a little bit. But it was good to see him really get his step going. So I really like this game offensively. I still don't feel like I know.
First career game for Dylan Bell with 2 rushing touchdowns.
Say what now?
First career game for Dylan Bell with 2 rushing touchdowns.
And if you guys don't know, he actually played. He's maybe not a lot, but he's played a lot of reps at running back.
Yeah, he has. Yep.
So, and there was a lot of teasing about him playing running back this year, but they did a lot of jets. I think both of them were like jet sweeps that he scored on.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so we got Auburn coming up this weekend. We're going to talk about that in a little bit in Auburn at night. So that place is crazy. But let's get into a little more national news. Where are we at? Talking about, I think it would be ignorant of us to open up and not talk about the two big upsets this weekend. I saw two top 5 preseason ranked teams getting their second loss and fall out of the top 25. Texas has my vote, and this may sound crazy, for the best non-ranked team ever, because I'm still gonna feel about them like they are a ranked team because they still have the talent, they still got the coaching, they've got the resources to be that team. But there's nothing this year that they've done to prove other than preconceived notions that they're a top 5 team. Somehow, Bad News Billy went in there. He does it every year. Saves his job with a huge win. And this one over Texas. Arch Manning still kind of looking like he's seeing ghosts. He had some throws that were really, really good, like that bomb of a touchdown he threw was perfect, and he was evading pressure too. It was so good. It was so good. But then you watch him play, and you're like, "Hey, this is a 5-star quarterback?" Like, there's too much of that in between. I was really unimpressed with the offensive line. I think for Texas, as much money as they have invested in guys, they were getting whipped up front the entire game. And I think one thing that can tell us too is that this Florida team is still really, really talented. Especially on defense. I mean, Dallas Wilson, not the true freshman, but the receiver, had a huge game. I think he had 2 touchdowns.
And he is a true freshman.
Is he? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking
of
of
freshman, yeah.
I think I was thinking of Eugene on defense. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, that Florida team, man, that's still not a team I want to see. And now they got the swagger back a little bit. But before we get into Penn State, want to just hear about what you guys think about that game, because, God, you got Sark saying, put 135 other teams, however many in college football, in the swamp and against Ohio State, see how they do.
Yeah, see how they do.
All right, bro.
To be fair, Kirby basically said something to the same effect about when they asked, like, do you feel like there's a mental barrier with you and Bama? And he said, how did everyone else do against them? You know what I mean?
That's a fair point.
Either way.
So, well, yeah. So go ahead, rap for me.
Logan, it's your world, baby.
Yeah, I would say I didn't watch a ton of football this week, as I guys told you. The boy in Mississippi got married, so I was off.
Nice.
Celebrating my boy.
Did he?
So, yeah, that's why I went down there.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, my boy Colby got married, so I was doing a little celebration for the boy. However, we did watch a good bit of this. I think it was from like the second half on. I want to say we did watch a good bit of this one. Arch Manning looks rough. Texas running the football looked rough. Every time I seen them hand the ball off, they were getting no yards, which is only going to make Arch Manning's job harder. If you got a good running attack, you can kind of have your quarterback get a little more comfortable, The one thing that kind of glared to me, it was I don't remember if it was in the 4th or overtime. Arch Manning lost his helmet, and it was like crucial part of the game. Arch has to come out because he loses the helmet. Backup comes in and throws a 26-yard laser, dude. And as soon as I see that throw, I'm like, Arch might not need to get back in this game. Like, straight up. I saw one throw from Kid, and I was like, he looked more confident than I've seen Arch look ever, other than when he plays Mississippi Valley State. I don't know. Just some nobody. So, I mean, at what point does Stark maybe think, lean away from Arch? Is that crazy? Yes. But, dude, when you got a 5-star and he's not really performing, you're sitting at 3-2. And I'll use one of Tripp's good stats he sent since he wasn't able to grace us with his presence. Texas this year set the record for the fastest team to go from number 1 in the preseason to unranked. It took them 5 weeks to go from number 1 to unranked. That's pretty quick. Next closest, or the previous fastest, was USC, who took 12 weeks. So double the time and then some.
Pretty much the entire season. It pretty much took them the whole season to fall out, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, week 12, you're 10, 11 games in. So, yeah. So, I mean, week 5, and you're already – I'm out. I was number 1. It was fun. We had a little, cup of coffee, as they say, and you're not even ranked anymore. So, I don't know. And
if you bench Arch, he's going to, hit the portal, and we know for certain Arch is going to come back next year. I think you have to ask yourself, as Sark and the rest of Texas, to answer your question, Logan, you do have to, genuinely ask yourself, like, is this about the long game at this point? We already got 2 losses. And when you look down the rest of that schedule, I almost think you don't have to rush to bench Arch, because the gauntlet of a schedule that you have will give you plenty enough time to give any quarterback who's going to lay a stinker out to do exactly that. So if you're waiting for more time, they'll have plenty of opportunity to, sit back and really give Arch enough opportunities to either look bad enough to get benched or good enough to justify it. And it's really not going to swing the pendulum this season. But I think you do have to really factor in next season to hit on your question. Because he's coming back. I don't think there's any shot that Arch goes to the NFL draft next year.
Well, they said that before the season. Like his granddad was saying it. I mean, that was all the rumors.
Hey, we're not going to disrespect Arch. Granddad is crazy. Archie Manning, hello.
Hey, shit.
That man don't have a name in the football world anymore. We're just saying granddad, not Archie.
He sounded like the smartest one right now.
Yo,
why you playing?
I mean,
that's crazy.
He was the only one trying to.
Like I called it. You acting like
I'm going to the draft.
You acting like I called him Peepaw.
No, you did. Basically, you just elected not to say a legend like Archie Manning's name, and you called him Pawpaw, bro.
I thought everybody kind of knew that, so my fault for assuming.
Hey,
everybody.
The speed limit in Oxford is not 18 for Archie Manning's name not to get mentioned on the Fans Union podcast. That's all I'm saying. We're not going to tolerate that disrespect. All right, his name's Archie.
I want to go back to one of your points, Logan. You were saying earlier is when do they start looking and saying, hey, do we go back, or when do we go away from Arch? Mm-hmm. Here's why they will not. I want you to look at the number 1 name on this list.
Yeah,
that is why they will not be going anywhere. That is the same reason this young man is starting as a true freshman. Their hands are tied when you got that much money, and you got to play them. You have to. It's interesting.
Joey, go ahead and read off the top 10 to the fans and provide them some context for maybe those who ain't watching visually today and just listening.
Well, so we pulled up the top 10 according to On3 NIL valuations, which typically are very accurate. I love how it has their Instagram followers on there. That's hilarious.
I mean, it's a part of it.
So the top 10,
a part of that bag.
Arch number 1. I'm not going to go through all their evaluations, just because I want to save some talking. But Arch number 1, Carson Beck number 2, Jeremiah Smith number 3, AJ is going to BYU. I can never pronounce his last name.
DeBansta.
That's right. DeBansta from BYU. He's the only basketball player in the top 10, I believe. Nussmeier, number 5. Lenore Sellers, number 6. Darian Mensah being up there is so crazy to me, but he's number 7. Number 8, Joe Mateer. Number 9, Bryce Underwood, who is the one I was alluding to, saying that's why he's starting. It's because he's being paid so much. Number 2, JT Toppin. I forgot he's in there. But he's number 10. So if you want to do football players, the next 2 would be Ryan Williams and
Josh Hoover out of TCU. Wow. You're a bag, young man.
Incredible.
Hey, and bro straight up admitted, hey, I be in the furry suits, man. And I be at the furry
That's
you
true.
Seen that? They asked him, they say, hey, bro, is this you? He posted it himself. He said, yeah, I be there, man. And I got a bag. Look.
It's funny. You're looking here.
Furry suit. I ain't rented.
AJ DeBansta has the most Instagram followers, which I think is more of a basketball thing. That's very common with basketball players, but it's kind of funny. Here we go.
Can I just say, can you pull that list back up, Joey, real quick? Just want to touch on a few things here. So, number 1, Arch Manning, underwhelming. Carson Beck, maybe Heisman, probably Heisman frontrunner. Jeremiah Smith, a dog. Nussmeier, underwhelming. Sellers, underwhelming. Darian Messiah, can't say I've heard of Duke this year, so won't speak on that one.
He's good. That Duke can ball.
I would say that's why I'm not going to speak on him. Don't say I stay in touch with Duke. Mateer got hurt, is what it is. Bryce Underwood, I'm not going to say underwhelming, but he's a freshman earning his
He's a true
stripes.
freshman getting thrown into the fire. That's
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's earning his stripes, but I mean, there's 3-4 guys right there who's top. Well, I mean, just look at the top 5 for football. If you take out the AJ guy from BYU for basketball, your top 5 in football, you got Sellers, Nussmeier, and Arch Manning, who are all getting paid at least $3 million.
Yeah, if you went around,
none of them look great.
Well, I will say for Sellers, and as someone who's watched pretty much every snap of South Carolina football this year, like the Arch or the Garrett Nussmeier underwhelming and Lenore Sellers underwhelming are two very different things.
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers is sacked more than anybody in football.
Yeah.
And has an offensive line that has drawn the most infractions in the country as well. Garrett Nussmeier, which I'm going to actually talk about, they're playing here in a few weeks or this weekend. So we'll talk about that too. He's just like, he could have a window the size of a water bottle and he's going to try and fit it in there. It's actually quite incredible. And obviously Ole Miss, that kind of cost him that. But yeah, it's funny. I do see your point though. Like, the dollar amount doesn't exactly always equate to it's. I mean, it's like pro football. I mean,
I wouldn't even say talent. I would say performance.
Right. That's what I meant if I didn't say that.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. But
NBA is kind of funny to me. Like, I feel like NBA is a good comparison because so many guys I feel like in the NBA get that contract and underperform so quickly. And I mean, it's kind of like what you're seeing here. It would be impossible to ignore how complacent making this much money makes players. I mean, especially at this age, it would make me complacent.
I would say the difference is NBA, they have a salary cap and like they have to spend X amount of dollars. You don't have to do that in college.
That's true.
You don't have to go pay these guys.
Yeah.
NBA, you got to. Like, you got to go pay a Harrison Barnes too much money because a new TV deal got inked, for an example. That's not the case here. Like, yeah, boosters can raise his money. I don't mean you got to pay a player.
I'd argue if you had a top 25 program consensus, you have to go pay somebody to keep your job because for most of these programs, if you're not in that very weird outlier of like having like a hyper successful coach who's won enough in the past to justify not spending. I'm not trying to just single out Dabo. You can argue that there's been like a couple of coaches who might have done that here or there, not to get into the specifics, but outside of that group, I mean, I think you have to pay. I mean, would Beamer have been able to really walk in with his job secure and not a seat hotter than fucking Satan's living room if he would have not paid Lenore Sellers and he hopped in the portal and he ended up going somewhere else?
Dylan Stewart too.
What would the outlook on Beamer's season have looked like at this point with this same record with no Sellers?
Right. No, I get it.
I think it's like a two-way street. I get exactly what you're saying, Logan, and it does bring up so many of the points that I ain't gonna say NIL haters, but NIL truthers, people who have been just trying to say, hey, look, we're not saying that y'all don't deserve to get paid, but some of y'all are getting paid more than rookies in the league when you look at it in a certain sense. If you're talking about like an undrafted agent, an undrafted free agent who signed somewhere, there's guys who are getting paid more than them, but you haven't proven that you can even be an NFL player yet. So what do the optics of that really mean when it comes to like the true development of your team and all that stuff? A whole other, bigger conversation. But I think you still have to go into the following seasons and think about the John Mateer models, think about the Carson Beck models, and really say to yourself when you're like one of these competitive programs who are on the cusp, like, I think it's worth it still. I really do. Like, Mateer has completely transformed Oklahoma's situation, bro. As much as we give, Brent Venables for like how great of a defensive mind he is, and that defense was the reason why they were able to beat Alabama last year with only 5 wins. That was like a 5-win total team or something like that. But they still beat Alabama just, surely off of having that good of a defense and riding on that home field advantage. But now you put Mateer in the mix and they get the like 78 receivers that were all hurt last year back in. And now look, like that team, I think, Venables was kind of in the hot seat. Am I lying? No, I wouldn't say in the hot seat, but it was getting hot.
People were questioning. I don't know if it's necessarily much of a hot seat as people were like, hey, why does this guy have a job? So I don't know.
Absolutely,
It's two different things.
man.
Speaking of, I mean, I'm not going to put this guy in the hot seat, but I'm
Oh,
kind
we
of
got to
going back.
even mention maybe even mention Mendoza too, real quick. Just I'll bring him in there as well. You know, even though he don't get paid as much, but great transfer quarterback who I think is worth going in the portal and getting.
Yeah, and obviously Beck got paid a ton of money, and he's been living up to it. But we get off on that tangent based from say, hey, what about Arch? Do you go away from him? Graham said it. I can't remember if Graham or Logan said it. I know one of y'all called. I think it was Graham said, "Are we watching James Franklin, who we're about to discuss 2.0 for him in Austin?"
Yeah, no. Yeah, we called him James Frank Jr., man, and he lived up to the hype.
He's got, because he's got an infinite amount of financial support there. I know, like, he's obviously came out and said every team has a cap. Dude, we know that budget is bottomless. We know that. You've got the resources, more resources probably than anybody, and you're at maybe a top 3 job in the country, arguably. I'm not ready because I think he's the quarterback struggles. I'm not going to put that on a head coach per se, but it's he's been in Texas for quite a while. They lost the playoff game, right? Because they lost to Washington, right? And then Washington lost to Michigan. Okay, so big question. He obviously hadn't built up quite the volume of big game losses like James, but it's with all these recruiting classes you get in, big guy, and all this money you got, it's time to start putting some of these big ones together. You got a cakewalk of a schedule from the SEC. They welcome you in with open arms with a red carpet, and you've lost you've played Georgia twice. You lost to them both games, both very big games. You lose. I guess they beat Clemson, so that may not be quite fair to say in the playoff last year, but I think
that's Sark's one playoff win at Texas, right, Logan? That's his only playoff dub there, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
How many times have they made playoffs? Twice?
I thought he had one more trip. Didn't he have one more trip with them? We not remembering, or am I bugging?
No, because I think he's only had 2.
And wasn't he still Bryce's OC when Bryce went to the Natty with them?
No, I think he was there by that point. I think he
was over there.
I think he was gone before COVID. But I'd have to look at it. I sound so uninformed saying that. But
Logan, you sitting in for Trip. You the stat man tonight, man. What?
Well, I'm in my seat every day. Ain't nobody sitting in for Trip. Let's not do me like that. No,
you know Logan over at headquarters, man. For everybody listening, he got 19 monitors over there, bro. He watching every game around the league and highlights. Whenever
I ain't watched a lot of football this weekend, man.
So I'm gonna catch it up. They made the playoffs, it looks like, twice.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So the past 2 years they've made the playoffs, but we'll have to see when it comes to him. But hey, I know Florida. I've seen a lot of Florida fans who were pissed about winning because it could preserve Napier's job. Let me just say, as a fan, no matter what the down the road implications are of this, be happy your team wins, no matter what, especially in a big game like this. That is so lame to be mad because your team lost because you want your head coach fired.
Spoiled, man. It's because Florida fans, they still spoiled from shit that damn near happened 2 decades ago. You gotta get off that high horse every now and then and humble yourself, man. Even Georgia fans, we have to do it periodically with all that Kirby's giving us, and we be talking crazy about Kirby and a couple of coordinators, unwarranted every now and then, but not even getting all that. But yeah, Florida fans be acting spoiled, man. You definitely ride this out hot with Billy, and you fire his ass at the end of the season.
Yeah, get him out of there.
But you already know he's gonna get you at least 1 or 2 more of these crazy wins this year. And I'm praying it ain't the dogs.
Praying it ain't us. I got one question though. Maybe I'm in the minority here. If I am, speak up. That's okay. I don't feel like this Texas win is the big, huge win everyone's saying it is. I don't know if Texas was as proven as people are pretending. Like
That
I
defense,
don't.
that defense proven.
But Texas as a whole, you can't, like like it's kind of like LSU. It's like, yeah, we can talk about how great their defense is, but it's like at the end of the day, their offenses looked abysmal. So it's like,
No,
obviously I was
they
riding high.
defense just stopped being terrible. Texas's defense was elite for about 2 years now. I think them boys only gave up like 17 points a game or something last year.
I just
They
don't
were
think
pretty
I'm
elite.
riding this as a huge win. I'll just go ahead and die on that hill, I guess. I don't consider this a huge win. It's SEC to me though. Like if you're a Florida, a Texas, like people forget what was Florida ranked at one point, like 10 or something? Like they was high up there at one point this year, right?
Yeah, but also, I mean, they like we were talking about. We'll allude to here in a second. But like Florida is going or Texas is going to end the season ranked unless just something totally falls out of the bottom. They're going to end the season ranked. Everybody knows the kind of talent they are. Everybody knows the problems that Florida had. They were 1-3 going into this game, and you invite one of the most talented, regardless of record, most talented teams, one of the best recruiting teams there is, and you come out of that with a win when your coach is when your coach is basically sitting on the about to walk the plank.
No,
And
he
get
is.
tired.
He already walked it. He already walked it. He's saying his last words basically.
And that's a big win. I mean,
I agree, man.
Especially for how bad that offense. You want to talk about an abysmal offense? The Florida offense would makes.
And doesn't the dub resonate more with the fact that he did it at home? So it's like, hey, all y'all who want to be at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that one.
I don't know. Like, I guess I struggle with it because we all know how good Florida's defense is too. So as much as we can say Texas defense is good, it's like this Florida defense is getting wasted this year. Let's be honest. Like their defense has looked good. It's just DJ Lagaway throws 5 picks against LSU, didn't look great against Miami. And then, I mean, when we're truly sitting back and looking at it, does Florida feel underwhelming? Yes. They're 2-3. They were kind of riding high. DJ Lagaway, high rank. DJ Lagaway had a great end of the season. But it's like, who have you lost to? You lost to LSU, Miami. Both of those are top 10 schools right now. South Florida loss. South Florida loss is a little rough. They're still number 24. Like, yeah, they're a little rough, but who did South Florida lose to? Miami. And, like.
It's just it's the fashion in which you lose, too. I mean, maybe not the Miami game, but the LSU and
but the 5 turnovers.
FSU game, that's what I'm about to say. They just if you watch the game, I'm not like accusing you of not watching games, but like if you watch those games, they are horrible losses. You're watching and saying this team does not deserve to be on this field. This team does not deserve to be ranked. You're watching the offense in which they lose. They look horrible.
It's the offense though, not the team. Their defenses look good.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's not 1-3 with an asterisk about the defense. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I mean, you can say the same thing about Texas then.
I think coming from like,
but Texas has had the 2 number 1 recruiting classes 2 years in a row.
I understand, but I'm saying if you're saying Texas is good and we're going to credit them as a huge win because Texas has a great defense, then why aren't we saying Florida's losing, but it's not because they're great defense, but Texas is winning because they're great defense?
Because I don't think on paper there's like 1 or 2 studs that I know that you're probably referring to right off the top of my head when you say Florida's got a good defense. It wasn't like consensus considered elite like this Texas defense is with guys like Collins, Taft, Simmons. I mean, we can go on and on with like the guys that we can, keep naming like from that Texas.
Hill Jr.
Anthony Hill Jr., right? Like, he's probably the most talented one out of all of them. They got 2, lockdown corners on the outside per se, consensus considered. Whereas, I know Florida's got Cormani and another really strong corner. But beyond that, like, I think that we know that Billy recruited that department well, the defensive front and all of that. But Texas was like considered the perennial defense of the sport going into this season. So to say that like, Florida didn't, while sitting at 1-3, pull off a dub that, although us three, we're savvied and veteran SEC ball watchers at this point, bro. We knew Florida had some shit for them boys, but we also can't take away from what they were able to do. And Florida beat them. Texas didn't lose that game. Florida beat them. And that's the ultimately for me, when you watch that game, that's what you walked away, saying like Florida beat them. It ain't like y'all fumbled.
I think if you are 1-3, like I said, 1-3, you're the whole fan base, the whole alumni, fire the coach, and you have nothing to play for, and you go in against a team that is ranked in the top 10 and you win that game, that is a big win. Obviously, they're not right now, but when you're the reason for that, I mean that's a big deal. And honestly, we're going to talk about it in a little bit too. I think Texas, assuming Mateer's not playing, is going to win this weekend. That's going to put them right back ranked. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to be right in this circle. But we spent a lot of time on this. Go ahead, Logan. Take your last point on this.
I don't think that they're. I don't know. I don't know if I'm sold that they're going to win this weekend without Mateer, to be honest. But I mean, Florida's defense is only allowing 17 points a game, and they've played a lot of good opponents. We can all admit that. They've played the team that probably should be number one in Miami. LSU, who's been a little underwhelming on offense, we've all admitted that. But, I mean, they haven't played just scrubs. I mean, then you got, what's his name? Something Brown. I forgot his first name at USF, who's been phenomenal. I can't think of his first name right now, but he's been great. I don't know. Big win. Yeah, anytime you beat a top 10, absolutely, big win. 100% agree on that. But I don't know if it's a huge win, I guess. Like I guess I don't know how to really explain it.
I think we're split hairs.
Yeah, obviously we beat the top 10, and hats off to you.
Yeah, I think we're doing a bit of hair splitting if we go that route. But another massive upset this weekend that sent another top 25. Now this one right here, this is a very bad loss. This is about as bad of a loss as you could formulate in your head. Penn State, who was 5, or they were 7 at this point in the game, goes to UCLA, who, by the way, not only had they not won a game, had not led a second the entire season.
The only team.
And it's not like
the only team.
What?
It was the only team left that had not had a lead all year.
Yeah. And you go in there with a coach who is 2 days fresh, who doesn't even flip his headset down to call the biggest play of the game, and you walk out of there with a loss. Now, one thing that we've always talked about, kind of the thing that was James' saving grace, hey, you're going to lose the big games, but you're not losing the games that you're not supposed to lose. That's something we talked about. We texted the other day, the chat, and said, this one thing, with Georgia, God, we can't beat Alabama, but Kirby's not blowing a game to a team that's 0-4. He's not doing that. He's not letting those guys do that. This right here, your saving grace kind of just went out the window. I mean, and when you look at UCLA's schedule, let me pull it up right here. When they lost to Utah, they got drugged out. They got drugged by Utah. UNLV, New Mexico, Northwestern. So it's not like they're playing. It's not like it's Florida's 1-3. This is you played a objectively very bad team, and Drew Aller, still nothing special out of there. He did have 80 rushing yards almost, which is pretty insane. But God, this is a bad loss. That James Franklin seat, it sounds like the oven just preheated a little higher. Bad business.
Yeah, I think Fran Brown is getting a few calls this week, and I mean that. I think Fran Brown's phone gonna be a little busier than usual over these next coming weeks, as well as your boy Dillingham out in Arizona State as well. If I'm Penn State fan, if I'm a Penn State fan, honestly, I genuinely am already daydreaming about who the next coach is, because this season right here, bro, is rotten to the core. A loss like this, that locker room right now, it's things that us three we'd only be able to hypothesize about the type of effect that this type of shit is having on that locker room right now, man. I mean, you got Nico two-step Yamalama running crazy all around you, bro. It was like 19 fans in that stadium.
He had 130 rushing yards.
Bro,
And 3
he
touchdowns.
130 pounds. You know that,
Yeah.
right?
And don't forget too, before you continue,
You got
Graham.
the highest paid defensive coordinator in the sport,
Just
bro.
about to say that. You just paid a
You
man
got
an
the
awful
highest
lot
paid
of money.
defensive coordinator in the sport.
You just paid somebody an awful lot of money to come lead that defense.
All credit to UCLA too, because them boys legitimately fought and earned that dub. But when you ask yourself, when you play devil's advocate and really say, like, what did UCLA have going for them going into this game, other than sheer, we got nothing left, boys. Like, there's no one here. Like, basically, it was a makeshift coaching staff. Let's just call it what it is. That's what they were able to put together this weekend. This is nothing like what we would even see, like the standard, like protocols and procedures with an SEC school. This really just some like, fellas, we out here doing it for the love of the game, and they beat your $16 million roster in the midst of a playoff or bust season. James.
I'm looking at this right now. I'm just gonna round it the seconds on this. I want y'all, unless you're looking at it, to tell me take a guess what the time of possession was in that game.
Logan better at this than I am, for sure.
Let's go. Let's go 43 minutes UCLA.
Okay. Graham, you got a guess?
37.
Y'all are both right there. They actually are literally, the answer is halfway, but in between. They had the ball for 40 minutes that game.
Salute, bro. We did good, sir.
That's crazy.
That is
put us on the spot.
Law of averages. Law of averages.
Yeah, there you go. But guys,
Hey, y'all know me and Logan had 6th grade math with each other, right?
Mr. McClendon. Mr. McClendon.
Yeah. Hey, we know our maths, man.
No wonder y'all are so good. That Herschel Jones education, baby.
Hey, come on, man.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Hey, I don't got a degree, but I ain't never been broke.
Yes, sir. I like that. Clip it. That better be pinned on the TFU Instagram, bro.
All right, we can make that happen.
That might gotta be our bio for a little bit.
I'm with it, bro.
Sounds good. God, where does Penn State go from here? I mean, because I was just looking at their schedule.
Joey, how bad is their Russians? Joey, if you don't mind, can you pull up how bad Penn State's rushing stats were? Because I don't think they ran the ball well in that game either, man. And that's what's crazy to me.
Yeah, because you would think the upfront advantage.
For sure.
They got outrushed
They ran for 157.
Yeah, and UCLA ran for. So they almost got outran by Nico himself.
Yeah.
Wait, what were the stats? Yo, my bad.
280 rushing yards from UCLA, 157 for Penn State.
128 from Nico.
Yeah, so he literally was
$130 on his own.
A big another one of his long rushes from doing that again. So I mean, God, what? But I mean, now my thing is, okay, so when you talk about, we talked about this too with replacing Franklin, right? Is I think it's funny the Penn State fan base expectations that you're supposed to be a playoff national championship or bust team. I don't know where that came from. I mean, other than I guess the money they spend on their team, but there's no season expectation, I guess, other than that one year. The year Georgia lost to Alabama in the national championship, that they probably should have made and I'm not just saying this to sound bitter, they probably should have made the playoff over Alabama that year when they won the conference championship. But other than that, I mean, I don't. The conference has never gone through you. You know what I mean?
I think it's because they're winning 10 games a year, 11 games a year. So, I mean, that automatically kind of puts them in that conversation. And the only team you're losing to is who? Ohio State and Michigan every year, who have been winning natties. So I feel like that makes them think they're right there, because it's like every year they're able to say, well, our only loss was Ohio State, or only loss was to Michigan, or to Ohio State and Michigan, who were top 10, So it's like, I feel like they've kind of fallen back on that a lot. But just real quick to go off their rushing stats. So UCLA had 3 guys rush for over 60 yards. Drew Aller has 78 rushing yards. No one else had more than, or one guy had 50. No one else had anything more than that. So you're telling me there was 3 dudes on UCLA that ran for more yards than any of the backs on Penn State. And on top of that, Nico's longest rush was for 52 yards. Penn State didn't have a single running back run for 52 yards. And they ran the ball 52 times. So UCLA basically told Penn State, here's what's happening, stop it. That's the craziest part to me.
Hey, I just pulled this up. UCLA going into this game had the 7th worst in the country rush defense. They allowed the 7th most rushing yards. They were allowing 218 yards a game in rushing. And you're playing a bad team. And if you're Penn State and Penn State, I'm looking up there. I'm trying to see. Well, theirs is probably skewed now. But yeah, you're playing a horrible rush defense, and you can't with the dominance you have up front, you can't do that, man. James got some questions to answer, man. James got some questions to answer.
Also, I'm sitting here looking at it just to nitpick a little more. Penn State threw the ball 26 times, ran the ball 31. So you're looking at 57 offensive plays roughly. Obviously, there's penalties, things of that nature.
Give or take.
If you look at UCLA, it's 24 passes for 52 rushes. So you're right there talking about 76 compared to, what was the other number I said? 57. So that's 20 plays more. I know that don't sound like a lot. That's a lot more plays. Time of possession obviously plays a big factor. You brought that up earlier, but I didn't watch a lot of this game, but on paper, it looks like UCLA basically.
Well, I mean, it's 20. The thing is, I don't know how you feel about it not using Logan, but I guess if you're involved with Penn State, because it's 27-7 at halftime, but UCLA's almost time to hand the stakes over. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, it's a one possession ball game, and you can't impose your will on UCLA. You're not you can't call yourself a national championship competitor. You just can't. And now,
to be fair, I think they did hand the sticks over.
Yeah, eventually, but but they did. Let me pull this up.
I think Big Brother played second half. That's how I got close. Is what I'm trying to say, Joey.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
10-4. I got you. Good. That was a
you damn right too. That's a good way to put it. Too.
And they got outscored 30-15. UCLA gets outscored 30-15 in the second half. But you put yourself down in a 20 spot, and your quarterback is Drew Aller.
Hey, you could not that there was any similarities in the games, but like the same way, Georgia didn't give up a single point to Alabama in the second half of that game that they still lost. That doesn't really matter when you lay such a huge egg in the first half. I think if anything we've learned this season so far is the whole lay an egg gimmick. That shit was last season's trend. You can't do that shit no more, man.
Yeah.
You cannot come out and go down 13-0 and expect to win. I don't care if you at home or away.
Unless you're playing Tennessee.
Hey, and I also want to say this, because we talked about Alabama not scoring in that second half, but Georgia still couldn't come away with the victory. Ole Miss against LSU only scored 1 touchdown in the second half. We were up 17-7 at half, and we won 24-19. So it's kind of like Graham's saying, you got to play 2 halves. And Ole Miss was able to still hang on. Yeah, Ole Miss was still able to hang on. Bama was able to still hang on. UCLA in this instance still hanging on. So it's just I don't know what it is, but it seems like when you get these leads, obviously it's better playing with a lead, but it seems like this year the trend hasn't been where the team with the lead lays a dud in the second half and loses. They can lay a dud in the second half, but they got momentum still, and their defense is still locking up, and everything's more kosher. Penn State, they did their thing a little bit in the second half, but it's just kind of surprising to see teams kind of lay duds in second halves and get kind of clamped up and still come away with wins.
Yeah, I agree. But
it's because it's all a simulation, bro. Greg Sankey, he nerfed the lay an egg gimmick. And now It's now you see what I'm saying? Y'all connecting.
Everybody else is catching up.
I'm not gonna drop too much, bro. I'm not gonna turn this federal, bro. But y'all get what I'm saying.
You want to get us shut down. They want to take these mics away.
Hey, I got one wild thought that crossed my head, Joey, when you were naming UCLA's opponents, right? And they're not losing to big schools, right? We keep talking about all these coaching changes. And then obviously, Graham's bringing up his Fran Browns and his Brent Keys.
I know where this is going.
No, you don't. I promise you don't know where this is going. Does Dan Mullen get a better job next year?
I knew that's where you were going.
Okay.
I knew it.
I'm just saying, dude. He's 5-0 at UNLV. He's won everywhere he's been.
I think he does.
He made me as an Ole Miss fan miserable for years, dude. Like, maybe he goes to – I mean, I don't think he goes to Penn State, but who's to say Arkansas don't call Dan Mullen? That's a great fit to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a SEC program for him. I mean – I don't think it's going to be easy. He don't recruit no ways, but I don't think it's going to be easy for him to take over a program like Arkansas maybe. Maybe that's not like the perfect fit, but like that caliber team, someone who's like got a little bit of recognition, but maybe like looking for a coach that could kind of propel them, But like, Dan Mullen is a winner. Let's call a spade a spade. He's a winner. He's won everywhere.
He's in a place too where the recruiting pressure is zilch. So he can just go there and just be a guru like he is.
And then with the portal and then with NILs, like maybe he could get a couple studs at Arkansas, win 10 games and, be on a high horse. I'm not saying maybe not specifically Arkansas. I'm just saying that because obviously they're going to be looking for a coach. But it's just, I don't know, dude, that crossed my mind because you said it, UNLV, and I'm like, wait a minute. Don't he got them boys undefeated? And he does. They're 5-0. So, I mean, it just, I don't know, crossed my mind. Dan Mullen, maybe he spends 1 year at the Running Rebels and goes ahead and runs off from them and gets another job bigger. I mean, maybe he does. Maybe someone like Penn State does go after Dan Mullen. I don't really see that happening. I think that's a stretch. I think that's more of a stretch. But
I knew you were going that route. I just want to go ahead and call that. I saw that one.
I'm surprised, but
5 steps ahead.
Hey, and speaking of coaches, on top of that, Penn State lost to Prince Charming because that OC that was calling the game.
Yeah. The 32, 18-year-old.
Yes. I'm like, bro, that if there's a live version of Shrek, dude, if that man don't play Prince Charming, they did the wrong casting. I'm just saying. But I just want to throw that out there.
That's a pretty good comp.
Yeah.
Well, a couple more games we're going to cover until we get to the pick'em from this past weekend. Real quick, Miami gets what a lot said should have been game day. Right, wrong, or indifferent. The win over Florida State. This one looks way closer than it actually was because Florida State had a really good fourth quarter. They almost, scored almost 3 touchdowns worth. But I mean, they scored 19 points in the fourth, and they finished up with 22. So just a really strong end to that game. But man, Beck, 20-27, 4 touchdowns. And I think, because you look at it, and I know
I had predicted for Malachi to get 2 tuds and $130. I don't think I was far off.
No, he did get $100 and 2 touchdowns. So you were right there. That guy's incredible, Tony.
Yeah.
He's freshman too, man.
Yeah, he's a monster. But I mean, this is why numbers can't tell you everything, obviously, because Castellanos has more passing yards, obviously, but he threw 20 more times. But Beck, man, he looks like he is in control of this offense. He really does. And it's hard. Obviously, they had the Cam Ward show in Miami last year. He was fantastic. Ends up being the number 1 pick. I think you're about to see a repeat because, dude, Beck is lighting the world up, and it really makes me happy to see it. Because I said it on here before. After the Bama game last year, as odd as it may seem, I was a Carson Beck guy forever. He got a bad rap for the interception numbers, which kind of were misleading as well. But I mean, he's got Miami looking like, Logan said it, Tripp said it. These guys may have a very good case to be number 1 in the country, especially when you think about.
I think that's been the case for a few weeks now.
Yeah,
consecutively, fellas. I think for 3 weeks now, they've been the number 1 team in the nation in my mind. Now, I do think Alabama is knocking on that door.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about them in a little bit too. I totally agree.
with these next couple of games, and Ole Miss in that same regard. I think that those are the three teams that come to my mind as the, true perennial front runners for like who are going to be the top dog. Ohio State is kind of sitting on the outside of the club. Well, they in the club, but they not in VIP like y'all are.
Hey, give Ohio State our seat. I don't want that seat.
Yeah, I guess maybe you and Ohio State are probably the two teams that might bounce back and forth in that sense, only because maybe you give that defense a little bit of an edge over Ole Miss on paper, but y'all's defense has been performing well. Like, you've been, and we've been discussing over these last couple of weeks. That's definitely not a lot of the conventional narratives that you hear about a lot of teams don't apply this year. So if people aren't really watching ball, you can hear them say some shit that's like, yeah, you talking about a team from 3 years ago, bro. That's not the case this year. Ole Miss isn't bad on defense. They're going to beat you, and they're only going to score 24 points. Yeah, this is 2025, man. Again, oh, yeah, the lay an egg gimmick not working. All these things, a lot of these conventional narratives, things are kind of, I don't want to call it a wonky year, but, yeah, it's definitely been an exciting year for a lot of those reasons, seeing the tide shift in a lot of ways.
Well, let me tell you real quick. Let me tell you real quick what Miami overcame. Because you look at it here. Florida State had double the first downs Miami had. Third down efficiency, Miami 5 of 14. Florida State 7 of 16. Miami has almost triple the penalties, and they're somehow dominating this entire game. Like it blows my mind. I think they're that good to where they're. I'm not comparing them to Kansas City Chiefs or anything like that, but you remember the Chiefs? They would turn the ball over more. They would have more penalties, and they would somehow win. It's like that. I'm not calling them the Kansas City Chiefs by any means, but kind of that anomaly of we're going to beat the rules. They're doing that right now, and they've got the quarterback to do it. They've got the receiving core to do it. They got the interior to do it, which is what's really impressed me. Cristobal's got these boys playing on fire. And if you told me that they were the number one team in the country, I wouldn't argue you. Now, I do think Ohio State, they've obviously kind of had an easier slate, which Miami's got a very easy slate going forward. I don't know if y'all seen their schedule, but it's pretty easy, relatively. But Ohio State, when I watch them, I still feel like I'm watching the best team in the country. I don't know how to describe it other than that. They're just kind of playing that vanilla role right now because I'm not saying they're hiding playbooks or anything, but they're just so much more talented than everybody. But not about Ohio State right now. Miami, the U is back. What did the boys say? Oh, let me put my mic. Let me just move this. Back.
Colby's gonna love that.
Yeah, go and get a screenshot of that.
I'll say I'm gonna let Graham. I'm gonna go ahead and go real quick and let Graham jump in because I got two things to say about this game. Miami should be number one. Carson Beck's my front runner for a Heisman right now. That's all I got to say about this game.
I think in the rankings, per FanDuel's odds, I think he's number 2 right now.
And also, keep in mind, Joey knows this. I was someone who said last year that Carson Beck was not a first-round pick. This year, dude, lights out. Buddy is lights out. So that's my two takes is Miami should be number one. Carson Beck, front runner for Heisman.
And straight up, folks are going to say, see, what I've said about Carson Beck. He's a Carson Beck Glazer. Yeah, I am. I'm not hiding it. It is what it is. He's got the second. Right now, Dante Moore is leading the Heisman odds, plus 500. Beck is plus 600. And Ty Simpson is plus 750. So, Graham, you got anything to talk about more on this before we go to Bama?
No, actually, I mean, we can kind of piggyback off of who you listed as like the third favorite in the Heisman as like a way to segue into Alabama. I think that Ty Simpson, honestly, he would like undoubtedly be the front runner for this Heisman race if Carson Beck wasn't playing his ass off the way that he is, that he has been. I think Dante Moore in Oregon is a guy who's going to definitely like hang around in that top 3, top 4 of the voting all year. But I think that Ty Simpson's team is going to be able, due to the fact that they have a harder and more entertaining schedule, he's going to be able to produce bigger moments than what Dante Moore is on a national scale, if that makes any sense. But no, Ty Simpson's been excellent. I think that's the reason why Bama was able to handle business the way that they did against Vanderbilt this weekend. I think that he is undoubtedly the central leader of that team. You know, last year, people knew who the best players on that team were. And I do think that Jalen Milroe, like, executed his role as a leader in a couple of different ways, but I don't think he ever did it to the magnitude that Ty Simpson has already, you know, shown that he can do it. And he's got that big game factor. Like Ty Simpson, you've seen the way he was chatting his shit to Georgia fans, like after scoring that touchdown. Like, this is a guy who has, you know, grabbed his opportunity by the horns, and that's bleeding through this entire offense. We can name the stars who, you know, perform each week. Jeremy Bernard, Jan Miller, I think, ran for like 130 yards or something like that. I think he had a great game.
Yeah, he had a really good game.
Outside of Jan Miller, I think Alabama only had like 5 rushing yards or something like that. Again, it didn't matter because you've got that guy, Ty Simpson, back there who is the anchor of this offense. And he's allowing all the other departments of this team to just improve gradually and steadily. He's like, yeah, I got it, guys. Don't worry about it. And yeah, that's who stood out to me for sure from that game.
I'm sure y'all saw in the notes, like when I said the itinerary over, my note said Bama is back. They are, I mean, it was this game, they beat Vanderbilt. Big Daddy Pavia was maybe wrote a cash flow or a check a little too big to cash. But it was started out competitive, like it was going to be another one of those. But I feel like after the last half of the second quarter and the rest of the game, it was all Bama. At no point, more so in the second half, like even when Vanderbilt would make their drives, it was like, I just don't feel it. Bama looks so good. And they're offensively, man, like Ryan Williams is really starting to find his stride again on top of Bernard, kind of establishing himself as a true weapon for them. Isaiah Horton, number one, he had a real good game too. But man, these throws that Ty's making right now, he's playing with so much confidence. He's not like, we were talking about, and this is by no means me comparing him to Gunnar Stockton, but you're talking about, Gunnar, his timidness kind of been an issue with him stretching the ball downfield. Ty Simpson does not have that problem. His arm is going to keep them in every single game this year. That Florida State game, I think we all talked about it, kind of seemed like an anomaly, and he didn't even look bad in that game. But honestly, and I know I just talked about Carson Beck forever and how he's been lighting the world up. I think Ty Simpson is playing the best football in college football right now. I think when you look at the job that he's having to do, and I mean that win against Georgia on the road, pretty much, especially the first half that he put up, seem to make every single right decision. These boys are going to be tough to beat this year, and it pains me to say that. For Georgia, very well could be a team they face down the road. But Alabama, they've also let me get it pulled up right here. They also don't have a super easy schedule. So, I mean, he's going to have a lot of time to show he's number one. I mean, I'm looking here. They've got 1, 2, 3. They got 4 more ranked teams that are currently ranked, all in the top 15 right now left. And we're going to talk about the Missouri game. Actually, we'll probably make sense to after that, leading to the pick'em with that game. But, yeah, Bama's going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to be in the SEC championship. I feel, if I'm a Bama fan, I feel I'm licking my chops right now because that offense is rolling better than probably anybody else's right now.
A comparison I've seen with Ty Simpson that them both being Bama players makes it make sense also. But I saw someone compare Ty Simpson to Mac Jones, someone who sat behind some studs, waited for his moment, and when he got his moment, kind of like Graham was saying, took the bull by his horns and made the most of it. I know it's an easy comparison to make because they're both Bama guys. They're both quarterbacks who sat behind somebody, a great talent for multiple years. But yeah. I mean, I've never been a Jalen Miller guy.
Your point stands. I'm just messing.
Yes, but still, though, it's just kind of crazy. Like it's honestly sickening. I'm not going to say crazy. It's sickening to know Alabama has guys like Ty Simpson and freaking Mac Jones just waiting in the wings, just waiting on one opportunity. And then when they get it, they're Heisman front runners. What the hell? Must be nice to be a Bama fan. That's all I'll say.
And there's no recruiting fall off with DeBoer either.
Yeah, I mean,
they're still top of the line of recruiting.
It's still early, but it's yet to be seen.
I think everybody's done with the I guess the fire DeBoer train. I guess that one's over for now.
Until they lose again.
Until they lose it. Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's Bama fans are spoiled.
But yeah, shout out to them Bama boys. God, I almost threw it in my mouth. Okay, so I think that's about it. Y'all ready to go ahead and pick these games?
Let's pick these holes, coach.
All right, let me get them up in here. So we'll lead off with the what's it called? We'll lead off with the how about the La Tech heading to on Thursday, heading to Kennesaw State?
Is it at Kennesaw State?
Yeah.
What you boys doing Thursday?
50, man, give me the hours about 50.
What you boys doing Thursday? Shit.
Hey, I don't know if I have it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mike could actually do that.
Hey, I'm only going if KJ picked me up in the Tesla, bro. For real.
I'll talk to him. I'll see if we can arrange that.
He got one for work, Logan. Hey, don't let him tell you don't either. I've seen him riding around in that mug.
That's
Company
true,
man. Company man.
All right, so Sunday we got a pretty big kickoff at noon. Not to be punny there, but we'll start off with Alabama and Missouri. Alabama currently is 2.5-point favorite.
Hey, let's not skip that first one.
Well, I was just segueing into it because
my fault.
We were just talking about Bama.
Yeah, that's why you the host.
Yeah, that's all right. So Bama at 14 Missouri. I don't know if you guys have watched any Mizzou this year. I watched the entire South Carolina Mizzou game. Those boys, they've got some dogs, man. Obviously, they got Damian Wilson, one of the best pass rushers in the country. But Ahmad Hardy has been
the running back, right?
Yeah, inarguably the best running back in the country this year.
But his partner back there in the backfield not too bad either. Not shabby himself either.
Yeah,
I don't know his name, but he's solid.
I was looking at it earlier. That now, what's his name? Bo Perbula, the quarterback. He's playing really well too, making a lot of big throws, stretching the field out. But one thing that really gets me about this game is we just talked about Bama. Bama has the fourth worst run defense in America, and not in America, in the SEC. And they're playing the best rushing attack in America. What'd you say, Logan?
I said America SEC, same thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. But no, they're the number one rushing. They average almost 300 yards a game.
Can we point something out, Joey?
Huh?
Can we point something out real quick?
What's that?
Start talking Bama too long. This man Graham had to throw a chaw in, dude.
Yeah, everyone throw that Copenhagen in.
That roll Tide Willie over there.
Oh man, you already know. Nah, I'm holding it down for Gunner, bro. He sent me some. You already know Gunner be on that.
Fair enough.
So he sent Gunner sent me a care package, man. So I'm really just out here,
Hey, salute.
Well, again, so Bama's a 2.5-point favorite. It's at Mizzou. I trust. If I trust Ty Simpson or Bo Perbula, who are both playing really well, I think I'm going to take Ty Simpson in that one. If Bama, I think if they are able,
they playing in Mizzou though, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. I think if Bama's able to contain Hardy, they're definitely going to win. And I know that kind of sounds like it's a safe take. I think Bama is going to win, especially if they do that. But don't be surprised, if this kid gets out there and runs all over the place. I mean, they're going to have to load the box. That's when they're going to start picking apart. Ideally, obviously you run commit. That's part of what comes along with it. So, but I'm going to take Bama on this one.
Yep, I'll follow suit. I'm going Bama as well. I kind of see this one playing out a little bit like the Vanderbilt game, like Bama kind of controlling it, maybe second half on, and Missouri staying within striking distance, but maybe not being able to solidify it and get the score they need to really get back in it at the end. I could see. I know I was saying Bama by 20 against Vandy. I really thought I really thought they were going to run off with it. I'll give Vandy credit. Like I said, they kept within striking distance, just never was really able to get over that hump. I could see Missouri game going the same way, like being within striking distance, within a score or two, you know, but not really being able to put the nail in the coffin of like scoring a big touchdown or getting that big play to really get them back in it in that late in the fourth quarter or fourth quarter period.
So you're taking the Bama boys?
Yes, sir. Bama.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 votes for Bama this week, but I do think that I like the Vandy comparison, Logan, that you made to Missouri, because I do think that Missouri presents a lot of the same problems that Vandy does, but they're better at it than Vandy is this year. There's no slight on Pavia or Clark Lee. I think he's doing a phenomenal job over there, but I think Drink has a more talented squad, and he's executing his game plan a little bit more proficiently this year than Clark Lee is. So I think the Tide will win, but it'll be a narrow one.
Okay. Well, we'll see. That game kicks off at noon. Also kicking off at noon, we got number 1 Ohio State and number 17 Illinois. I think Illinois is going to be unranked after this weekend because they're about to get throttled.
Yeah,
I don't believe in Illinois, especially against the monster that they're about to play.
You don't even got to ask for my vote. It's Bell. It's B2A. You already know how that game about to go.
Yeah, that one's going to get nasty.
I agree for sure, but I just didn't want to gloss over my boy Luke Altmaier. Had a great week last week, threw for 390.
Luke playing good. Luke has been playing good this year for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
He's who
played good.
People think Drew Aller is. He can do the same stuff that Drew. He can do the same stuff Drew Aller does, but win and
Yeah.
win.
Luke Meyer's been very respectful ever since he went to Illinois. It's kind of like you guys talk about with Beck. Obviously not the same stage. Beck's twice the player, but I always love to see Altmaier go to Illinois. Keep them ranked. They're always in the rankings. You know, it's always 17s, but hey, you're keeping on the rankings. You're keeping in the rankings for games like Ohio State for them to boast and be like, hey, we have a ranked win against number 17 Illinois. So I do think Illinois loses, obviously. But I am not on the boat with Joey. I think Illinois will be sitting around the 23-24 next week. I think they stay in there by a smidge. And then they're probably going to beat a couple nobodies and jump back up to 15, 16, 17, and then lose to someone else big. Just kind of what they do.
Yeah, I expect them
Illinois wasn't doing much of nothing before, these last couple of seasons. I can't think of their head coach's name right off the top of my head.
Brent Belima.
He's been doing a pretty decent job over there at Illinois. We're going to definitely give over here on the fan.
Yeah, given the stage, I agree.
Yeah.
Given the stage, I agree, but the stage he's going to be on Saturday is going to be a little bit too big.
I think for 4 straight years that Illinois has been, I'll say relevant loosely, but like in the top 25 pitcher. Because I know before Luke Altmaier got there, they had something Schrader, something with a D. I want to say Dennis Schrader, but that is not right. It's something Schrader. He came from Mississippi State. He went to Illinois, had the boys looking decent. Then Altmaier transferred after he graduated. And
they've always had like periodic guys who when you see, you're like, that guy's going to the league. Like I remember watching Rashard Mendenhall play for them. You knew he was going to go to the league. You know what I'm saying? Like Illinois wasn't completely irrelevant, Logan, but I get what you're saying. But I definitely think that like Luke and them boys this year, they could definitely creep back into the top 25 around the end for sure. Like to what you're saying, like they can, as long as they, manage against the teams that they're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. They play Ohio State. After that one, they got at Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, at Wisconsin, and Northwestern. So Washington, Wisconsin kind of stick out. I know Rutgers, I think they have a decent record, I believe. Or they started off decent. I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, they don't – it's not a crazy record, but no need to spend more time on Illinois. Sorry, boys.
It's all right. Speaking of speed and time, do we need to go through our old missed predictions, or we all expect one to be the barn burner it's about to be?
I will say this. Let's see if I can – it'll probably take forever to load. Okay, 32.5-point favorites is insane to me, but that's a high number, bro. That's just very high. But with that being said,
if you're a betting man and you take that spread, call the hotline right now. Call the hotline.
Or get a Lane Kiffin tattoo because you're glazing. 32.5 is a crazy spread, but we'll see. It's a 98.5%. So if we lose this game, I might just exit the podcast for the rest of the year.
Yeah, Logan's not on the show anymore. He's in rehab.
Yeah, I might relapse on what? I don't know, depression.
Nah, hey Lane, if you listening, if y'all lose, we gotta whoop Logan ass. So I mean that's why he's not gonna be. We're gonna have to take him out back and whoop his ass for y'all because we
On
can't
stream.
get to y'all. Yeah, straight up.
So yeah, well, I think we're pretty much all rolling the Rebels on that one. Which gets us into the 3:30 slate. We got which I don't know if they've announced it. I feel like this would probably be game day. Number 7, Indiana at number 3, Oregon. Obviously Oregon. I mean, 2 really good quarterbacks in this one, Mendoza and Moore. So that'd be an exciting one to see. But I do expect the Ducks to roll in this one. I'm not on the Kurt Signetti bandwagon, even though I mean they're a good team. I don't want to say that, but I think games like this they're just not going to be ever pulling out a win in any of these games. But again, I think we're going to have a good quarterback duel. I think Ducks are going to walk away with it.
I'll go ahead and go then. Yeah, I got Oregon in this one. Comparing quarterbacks in this game, I just want to give one crazy stat here. So Mendoza has 1,208 passing yards, 16 tuds, 1 interception. Dante Moore, 1,210 yards, only 2 yards more, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's eerily similar. The quarterback stats in this one are kind of crazy, to be honest. Like 16 tuds to 14. So you got 2 more tuds for Mendoza and literally 2 more yards for Dante Moore. They're both sitting at 1 pick each. So like you're saying, I think it's going to be a good quarterback battle. But, I feel like Oregon might blow the doors off these boys. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I think they're gonna pull away with it crazy in the second half. I think first half it'll be a real competitive ball game, but
I think first quarter. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like that's just the vibe I get from this for real.
No, I still see it being a ball game come third quarter, but I do think when it's all said and done, I got Oregon at least winning by like 17 or more. I feel.
Well, they're an 8.5 point favorite in Austin. Very tough place to play.
I'm showing 7.5. That might be when you smash the spread.
That's 8.5.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was looking at. Yeah, 7.5.
Honestly, that might be one where you take the spread.
Honestly. You're right, Logan. I agree.
Hey, I will say this. Talking about Kirk Cincinnati, dude's a winner. All right, I'm gonna say the same thing about him. He's a winner. Like, you have Indiana top 10 back-to-back years. You got to give the man his flowers on that. He's like 70 on top of that. This man is not young.
Yeah. And I think they're going to be in the position where they're going to be able to do that consistently, win 8-9 games a year. But these games, I just don't ever see them eclipsing.
Hey, low key, they might turn into the next Penn State, win 9 or 10 every year, and just drop the big ones.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
we'll see. Next, we got number 6 Oklahoma at unranked. It's at the Cotton Bowl, so it's not a red matchup right now. Texas opened up a 1.5 point favorite. I think if Mateer
Logan, is that why James couldn't win in UCLA? Because Signetti already took his 3rd place cap from him. And he's like, you can't get it back, bro.
Maybe.
That's a good idea.
Mouse.
But 1.5 point favorite for Texas. I'm going to assume that they're the favorite because of Mateer still being out. There's been a lot that he's been trending to playing, and his recovery is going really well, which good for him. I'm glad it is. But I don't know if he's going to be – if he doesn't play this weekend, he's definitely going to be playing next weekend against South Carolina, which I'll be at that game. But, yeah, without Mateer, I'm going to take Texas. But, God, that defense is so good at Oklahoma. It's very, very close. I think this is one of those, another one where you might want to take the spread if you're gambling. But I'm going to take Texas in this one, assuming Mateer is not playing. We're all gonna go into the premise that he's not playing at this point.
I'll let you go ahead, Graham.
Yeah, Logan, I'm trying to figure out who Joey assumes is about to play offense for Texas this weekend. Give me the Sooners all day, bro. For sure. I mean that. Sooners by 10. I don't know what they do.
I remember you were a
Uber. That's what they do.
You were appalled immediately, Graham, when that line came out. You texted us about it like immediately. So you're sticking with
that's
it.
crazy, bro. That defense, Oklahoma got the damn near the best defense in the nation to me. My opinion.
Yeah, them dudes fly. I mean, you saw what they did to Auburn. I mean, God, they had the bumper sticker that said I sacked Jackson Arnold. I mean, they were everywhere. They are so good. So I get that.
I got them in Miami number 1 and number 2 as far as like best defenses in the nation, and then Ohio State number 3. The way I got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same way. I'm kind of with Graham on this one. How does Texas drop 1 to Florida and then open up as favorites against number 6 Oklahoma is kind of crazy to me.
Yep.
I think Oklahoma takes this one for sure. If Texas loses this, does Texas see the top 25 ever again this year? That'll put them at 3-3 halfway through the season.
They kind of got that Notre Dame love where they might get in there.
I mean, I agree, but I don't. Let's see. Let me look. I want to see what the rest of their record is or schedule. I mean, you got Oklahoma, then Kentucky. Kentucky should be a win. Mississippi State doesn't look bad. Vanderbilt doesn't look bad. Then you got Georgia. Then you got Arkansas. Then you got A&M. That's not an easy schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Kentucky and Arkansas. You should beat. Mississippi State's look good. Vanderbilt's look good. And then you got Georgia and A&M, 2 top 10 matchups, 2 of your last 3 games. I think there's a world where if Texas don't figure it out quick, they might not see top 25 the rest of the year. Like, honestly, especially if they drop this one. If they go to 3-3, they got to go at least 5-3, 6-3, I would think, before they see it again.
And you want to, if they drop this one, you want to assume they're going to lose to either one or both Georgia and A&M at this point. Marcel Reed is putting it out of his mind right now.
I think if they lose this week, they guarantee lose to A&M and Georgia unless something happens catastrophic. And then they're going to probably lose 1 or 2 of the Vanderbilt State is how I'm viewing it. I think A&M and Georgia's a shoo-in if you lose to Oklahoma without their star guy.
Yeah. So
that's just, I mean, obviously it's football. You never know what can happen. But.
Right. Okay. Well, 2 more games. So what was predicted to be a much bigger game.
1 second, Joey.
Huh?
In honor of our boy Josh, who's out here selling the seas and defending this great country.
Yeah, you know what? I get down with that. I can throw the horns down. I had no problem.
That's for you, Josh.
I'm a neutral in this fight.
Shout out to our.
Oh, no, this for our boy Scar. You can get in on this, Graham. You know Scar.
This Doro? Oh yeah, horns down.
Josh Scar, baby, horns down, baby.
So, all right. Well, 2 more games. We got 2 games at 2 of the 7:30, 7:45. South Carolina at LSU. A lot more hype going into the season for this game before South Carolina dropped 2 games. But I still think we're going to see a really, really good ball game. LSU is a 9.5-point favorite, so I mean that's pretty hefty favorite, basically 10, 2 possession favorite. I think South Carolina, the thing that's going to kill them. And let me make sure, because I was looking at this earlier. Let's look. Okay, so these are the 2 worst rushing offenses in the SEC. So I think that's you can if you just want to go off that basis and just wipe both those out. I do think Sellers is the better quarterback. Honestly, I know that sounds crazy to say. Maybe not, but Sellers. The thing is, Nussmeier, he tries to force too many things, but Sellers just has this superhuman ability to make a play with nothing there. He's got that X factor that I think makes a great college quarterback. While he has obviously underwhelmed a little bit, this is going to sound crazy, and I'm going to have to do a write-up on this too here in a few days. I'm taking South Carolina to pull the upset. I think they're unranked right now, obviously. Deservedly so. They've got a stretch. You want to talk about a crazy schedule stretch here? They got LSU this weekend, Oklahoma next weekend. After that, Bama. After that, Ole Miss. After that, A&M.
All top 10.
Yeah. Are they? I think somebody is. LSU is in top 10 right now.
Oh, what are they? Oh, 11. My fault.
Yeah. So around the top 15.
Oh, well, I was talking about after this game, but yes.
Oh,
'Cause you were
gotcha.
naming
Okay.
after this
Yes,
game. But yeah,
that's correct. So they've got a situation where their backs are against the wall, and if they want any shot at a playoff, which I don't think is going to happen, it's got to start winning this game. And I think they know that. Death Valley at night, obviously a very tough place to play. South Carolina's coming off a bye week, which I think LSU is as well.
Yeah.
But I think the best player on the field is going to be Dylan Stewart, and I expect him to really take over this game, get Nussmeier to really force those tight windows because these guys can still South Carolina can still rush the passer, not at the clip they did last year, but I expect them to go in Death Valley and pull the upset off.
I'll jump in here. I do not. I don't know what you're smoking, but I'll take 3 of them. LSU and Death Valley. It's a different ball game, dude.
Yeah, but they're not undefeated.
LSU by a million. I mean, by a million is obviously crazy. I don't see a world where South Carolina, down in the slumps like they are, go into LSU, Death Valley at night and pull this off. This might be a Nussmeier coming out party. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. Like I just don't see it for South Carolina. They've shown me nothing this year that makes me believe they're going into LSU at night and leaving with a dub. However, based on the scheduling, like you're saying, so you name 5 straight top 10 matchups they got to play. If you're including this one, you're telling me 6 straight games against top 11 opponents. That is insane. That is a juggernaut of a schedule. So
yeah, it's unreal.
As far as if they want to make playoffs, they got to start now. Yeah, you can go ahead and kiss that goodbye.
Again, I don't think they're making the playoffs. Let me just clear that out. They're not about to go on this gauntlet and go undefeated. But
if they win 2 of these next 6 games, I'm going to be applauding them. You know, like I don't know. I just really LSU Death Valley at night. I think Nussmeier has a coming out party. That's my prediction here.
Yeah, I'm leaning LSU as well, but simply because they're the team that's got more at stake and they need the win more. So yeah, I'm leaning LSU on this one.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this thing up with a game that maybe is a little bit closer in our minds than maybe it actually is. I don't know. Number 10 Georgia at Auburn. Georgia opens up at a 3.5-point favorite on the road. Alton Stadium, or not Alton, excuse me. Jordan Hare is a wild place. I don't know if y'all have ever been to a game there. Beautiful campus. Yeah, Logan, because you went to that. I remember you went to that big game a few years ago.
Wonderful. Hey, if anything ever happens to Ole Miss, go Auburn Tigers. I'll be a fan for life if anything happens to Ole Miss. I mean, dude, you will not hear me speak bad about Jordan Hare, dude. That experience I had when Bo Nix was there facing Ole Miss, the fans were awesome. It was like 2 days after Halloween. Ole Miss was giving Auburn one last scare. I mean, every fan that's seen me was great. I'm rocking my Eli jersey, decked out in Ole Miss. The environment was awesome. The Eagle fly around before the game is awesome. Bo Jackson, Cam Newton. I mean, if you haven't been to Auburn, Jordan Hare, go to it. I don't care if you're a fan of Auburn or not. Have the experience. It's a hell of an experience.
Yeah, it's super nice there.
Yeah.
But
I figured Logan was gonna go ahead and lean into his pick while he was.
Georgia. Sorry, Auburn, but you still got the dogs on the other side. Hey, I don't see no eagle picking up no dog. You know what I'm saying? So,
I agree.
Go ahead and ride with Kirby and the boys.
Fair point. Yeah, I do think it's gonna be a very close game. To Joey's point, it always is an extremely intense matchup between these two teams. I would say with Tech and Georgia, it's straight hatred, especially with the coaches that we have this time around. Especially both coaches played each other literally during their college tenures for their respective colleges that they coach for now. But with Auburn, it seems like the hatred goes beyond anything that anyone who's even sitting in the stands can remember or think of. I hate these dudes for prehistoric reasons, bro. Auburn and Georgia, I really do feel like that's always our most intense game of the year. I don't care. I don't care how. I mean, I'd be remiss for not bringing up the Florida rivalry either, but something about this one has always just felt different. And yeah, and for that reason, I think it's produced some really, memorable games. Gus Malzahn gave us a run for our money every time he coached against us for them. With that being said, Joe, I think Gunner kind of duplicates the type of performance that he had in Neyland, and is able to get the job done over in Jordan Heron, and will the Dogs the victory. I don't see it being by more than 7 points, though. It'll be close.
And also, just right before you go, Joey, as long as Hugh Freeze is the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, I am not counting them out of any big game. If one thing he showed me at Ole Miss, that man steps up for the big game every single time. He's going to have a trick up his sleeve. Get ready. There's something that's going to happen. He's going to do something that's a little off the radar, if you will. He's going to do something that's going to be a little nutty. It might work. It might not. But, yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Dogs. But I'm just saying, as long as Hugh Freeze is there, I ain't counting them out of no big game. I mean, you saw they almost – what was it? Was it last year that they almost beat Bama, the 4th and 31? They should have beat Bama.
That was
2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
That was Nick Saban's last year.
But yes.
Yeah, just case in point, big games, and you're at Jordan Harris. I mean, I do think it could be a tough game for Georgia.
Okay. So here, Georgia, this has got to be the week that you wanna rush the passer. I know the Oklahoma game kind of skews it, but this team has given up more sacks than anybody in the SEC. In Auburn, that is. Auburn also,
we've sacked people the least. So it's like, what's about to happen here?
Yeah, right. Auburn also
still got me nervous, man.
Auburn has the number 1 red zone defense or offense. They scored every time they've been in the red zone this year. Georgia is the number 8 defense in the red zone. So a lot of heads could clash there. What I need to see, Georgia's always, I feel like, had an issue with guys who can get out of the pocket and make plays, such as like Jackson Arnold. Has really struggled with those guys. I don't know why, but it seems like they can always find the exact rush lane, everything to make. I'm going to take Auburn. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to take Auburn in a close one. I think this is one of the best receiving corps in America in Auburn. With Singleton, Cam Coleman, maybe the second best receiver in the country. He is unreal. Georgia, I haven't seen much evidence, even against somebody who gives up a lot of pressures like Bama, that they're going to be able to change the, that edge rushing, or not just edge rushing, but just getting to the quarterback, drawing up schemes to get them there. And I think it's going to bite them. I think Auburn's defensive line is also really, really, really good. Probably the best that we've played this year.
Joey, I'm not mad at your pick, but I do think you forget that football is played with heart. And our coach, I think, like, when it comes to like what he's able to actually produce from that department of the game, it's like running circles around Hugh Freeze. Everything about this coaching matchup to me leans too far towards Kirby Smart to say what you saying. Logan, I see the face you making, and you do got bias, man. Hugh Freeze,
yeah, I do.
He 10 times better in your mind than what he actually coached like in real life when I be watching them. But I'm gonna leave that for another episode.
We definitely have the coaching advantage. I'm not gonna doubt that. It's also played with heart, but I mean, there's also a lot of things Georgia has shown vulnerability to, and I think a lot of it stems from not having a pass rush. And with that receiving room, these guys can get picked apart again. And these things, I don't ever want to be right when I pick against Georgia. I will look like an idiot every time for Georgia to win. But I think Auburn, everything's adding up. Like, it's so many stars are aligning for Auburn. Because they're only 4. What? They've only lost. No, they lost 2 games because they lost to A&M as well. But they got screwed out of Oklahoma. I think they're a super talented team. Again, want to be wrong. I think Auburn's going to pull off the upset here. I think the state of Alabama wrecks us this year. Wrecks us as in not dominates, but wins both games. So hope I'm wrong, but I'm gonna pick the Tigers in this one.
And that's a good cliffhanger to end on, man. Y'all fans have a good evening whenever y'all are listening, and we'll tap in with y'all tomorrow.
Hey, I got one thing. Time out.
Go ahead, brother. My fault.
I got two things. Real quick. We would be doing a disjustice to college football if we do not mention this. And this is going to also be a quick shout out to the Roach family. Curtis Kirk played at Western Carolina. Western Carolina's quarterback completed 46 straight completions to start the game this weekend. 46 straight. Yeah, I don't know if y'all seen this. 46 straight completions, dude. It broke an old record from Princeton's quarterback with 29. So not only did he break a record, he obliterated it.
And that's back. That's like they had just invented the forward pass when that happened.
No, it was in 2011 or 2013 when Princeton did it, actually. So it's very recent, actually.
My fault.
Going back to his previous game, he completed 50 straight completions. So obviously that's a record. He finished that game 53 of 56 with 378. That is crazy stuff.
Dialed. That's Mike Leach.
Yeah, I mean it's insane. But either way, I had to get that in there. 46 straight completions to start the game is insanity. 53 of 56, insanity. College football record. I don't know if we ever see that get broken unless Mike Leach comes out of his grave, like you're saying. But I just wanted to throw that in there. Then obviously I'm going to end on the same note I've ended on every single week. Ole Miss is number one in SEC, and I will continue to say this until it is no longer
true. Y'all have a good night, man. This motherfucker.
I'm going to continue to say it until it's not.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Graham didn't like that.